On March 12th, Songvakeppnin 2022 will wrap up, and Iceland will deliver one of the final songs of the season. It's a high bar to live up to after Hatari and Freyr both had amazing finishes and great televote results at Eurovision's 2019 and 2021. So let's see if any of these 10 entries can live up to Douze and Hatari and have another fantastic result in Turin. Before I get into the first song, I just want to say most of these reviews are going to be based on the English version if available. I did listen to some of the Icelandic versions as well, but primarily the focus will be on the English version because that's probably the one they'll send should they win and represent Iceland. So the first song is Sigi, Beta and Elin with Medhakandi So. It looks like this is going to end up being one of the only non-English songs. Should it win, it will go probably fully in Icelandic. And that may set itself apart from the pact. It's a bit folksy, which none of the other songs really are. It has kind of a country western twang to it, I guess you could say. It reminds me a little bit of Carousel, That Night from a few years ago. In some good ways and some bad ways. In some bad ways, it kind of levels itself off. It never really grows or evolves into anything. It's just very nice all the way through. I will say that I think between the three of them, there's a lot of great opportunities to have good harmonies with the song and almost take maybe an Eugene meets Stefan's Hope from this season from Estonia. Maybe those two kind of blend together. You could get something really special. So this entry, one to watch out for. I think this could do okay. The second song is Amarosis with Don't You Know. Don't you know, you make me feel bad. This is a really cute number. Their voices harmonize really well. I think it'll be very fun on stage. This is not the right type of song for Eurovision, I don't think. The audience that's watching, that's expecting to see this entry represent their country, I don't see a lot of people really gravitating towards this, even with great staging and great vocals and everything else. It's a song contest first and foremost, and this song just feels very old-fashioned. Very nice to listen to. I think people will enjoy it, but I don't think it's going to get the votes it needs to even get past the semifinals. Next on the list was Happy Half with Volcano. Is now. Let's do the volcano. This song comes in like a wrecking ball and hits you from all directions with all different types of instruments. You've got kind of a guitar, you've got a kazoo kind of sound, some EDM laser noises, some later noise effects that come into the second verse. It is a lot. It is a lot coming at you, and it almost makes it hard to understand the verses. In the second verse, there's kind of, I think it's an accordion that comes in. It's so loud that I can't even really tell what he's saying. I don't know, the chorus is a little bit simple. He's definitely going to have a lot of fun with this on stage. Don't see this as a potential winner, though I think it could reach the final and be a lot of fun. The fourth song is Stefania with Heart of Mine. This feels like the safest Eurovision entry. And I mean that in both a good and a bad way. I think the progression is there. The song highlights her vocals really well. I love the little element of just injecting that tiny bit of Icelandic into the final bridge just before the big note, the big moment at the end. So I feel like compositionally, this is the most ready song. But does that mean I want it to go to Eurovision? I don't know, because I think there's going to be other ballads that do what this song does, but better. And it ends up maybe not qualifying for the final. Whereas some of the other songs in this bunch are much more eclectic, much more off the wall, and we'll get to them in a bit, have a higher chance of qualifying just because nothing else will sound like it. Whereas this could sound like several other songs, even within its own semi, and that could hold it back tremendously. If I had to put money on a winner right now, I think this one has the best chance. But this is without seeing the live performances, which could change everything. The fifth song is Sun City and Santa with Keep It Cool. I keep it cool, 'cause I know you gotta be mine. I write the rules. It's funky and it's got a great beat. but I do have to point out that the recorded version of this song, the vocals have a lot of processing on it. It's pretty heavily auto-tuned compared to the other songs, and you're either using that artistically or you're using that to potentially cover up maybe some weaker vocals. It's going to rely a lot on some good vocal harmony between the two of them. So if one of them's not quite on, it could really hold this back. So I'm a little nervous about this song there, but it's probably the most fun song of all of them for me. Pretty modern too. I don't think this feels as dated as some of the other entries. It does kind of stay in one gear. It kind of just goes up a little bit into the second verse, but it's kind of the same song all the way through. But you definitely will feel yourself kind of bouncing back and forth to it. It's nice. I expect to see it in the final of Songvakeppnin, but I don't know if it's going to be a winner. Next was Stefania with All I Know.
It's never gonna be easy.
This reminds me a little bit of Easy on Me. It's a pretty contemporary ballad. I know this is going to be the weirdest nitpicky thing about this song. I don't like the snare drum kind of progressing in the background with that echo on it. It feels like the most out of place drum in the song, and I can't unhear it. I feel like you could just remove it and everything would just sound more together. It just feels so out of place. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say about this song. It's nice. I don't like the snare drum. That's it. I don't know if it's a good thing that I don't have a lot to say about it, but that's just, the song just is kind of there for me. Next we have Marketa Irglova with Possible.
I wish that it were possible.
This is ethereal. It's gorgeous. I want a lot of natural elements on the stage. I want soft lighting. There's no heavy drums in this one. Everything stays on the higher end. It's an atmospheric experience. The vocals sound absolutely stellar. I think this one could be a contender. We'll have to see how it's staged. Lyrically, there's not a ton going on in the song, but I think it's just enough, maybe. It's quite lovely. And the eighth song is Hannah Mia and the Astro Tourists with Gemini.
Every time that my mind drifts away, then I think of seeing you.
Retro funky vibes, plucky organ keys. The vocals from Hannah are out of this world. I love them. I think she has one of the best voices, one of the easiest voices to listen to of this crop of 10 songs. It's very steady all the way through. This song is going to rely so heavily on a unique live experience. On YouTube, it seems like they're a very eclectic bunch, kind of remind you of Dottie Fryer and his team a little bit. So maybe they bring out something that's unique, that's more of a stage experience with the song. The instruments do feel just a little retro, could hold it back, but we'll see. 80s has, of course, made a huge comeback in Eurovision the last year and this year. So, retro is not necessarily bad anymore. Song number 9, Turn This Around by Daughters of Reykjavik.
Tap, tap, turn this around, yeah, turn this around, tap, tap, turn this around, turn this
K-pop,
around,
iPop, banger, iPop, banger. If Iceland sends this, I think it will cement themselves as the outside of the box country. For this to follow in the wake of both Hatari and Dottie Fryer, it seems like Iceland is willing to try just about everything, and usually it pays off. I don't know if third time is a charm for Daughters of Reykjavik. Though I like the verses a lot of this song, the turn this around, that turn this around part does not gel with me. I've listened to this song 7 or 8 times. I want to love this song and I want to get into it, but the turn this around just feels too punchy and not smooth enough as maybe some other K-pop songs, if we want to make that comparison, are. But this is, again, one of those songs with the low floor, high ceiling. It could tree on a park line and come dead last in the semifinal, and I wouldn't be surprised. It could also top 10 at Eurovision, and I wouldn't be surprised. It really feels like it could end up anywhere at the end of the day. This song could have a huge televote pool if they can pull this off live. And finally, song number 10, Katla with Then Again.
Then again, I can't pretend that this might happen all again. It could all
Mid-tempo, moody, mysterious, great progression. This feels like another one of the songs going along with Stefania that feels kind of made for Eurovision. Feels like it has all the elements that you would expect in an entry. There's a lot of diversity in the music. It kind of goes up and down and it really takes you on a journey. The chorus isn't as catchy as I'd like. This is another song kind of like Daughters of Reykjavik, where the chorus is what I have an issue with. The verses I love, but then I get to the chorus and I'm just not pulled in the way I want to be. Who knows, maybe a revamp could take this song to the next level. I would still put this among one of my favorites. I still think this is a song that has a good chance of winning, and I do expect to see it in the Songvakeppnin final. After listening to these songs several times over, I came to the conclusion that none of them really wowed me, at least with the recorded version. Maybe when we see some live staging and some live vocals and some different ways that they can approach the song there, some of them might grow on me. But right now, I'm feeling like a lot of these would probably be NQs should they go to Eurovision, and then there's a couple that could have an okay performance. Don't think there's any winners here of Eurovision, so sorry, Iceland, you may have to wait one more year at least. Heart of Mine would still be the one I expect to win, though I think if Daughters of Reykjavik goes, maybe Katla or Hana Mia and the Astro Tourists, I think all of those would have a higher chance to get out of the semi and potentially make it into the final. But I think Heart of Mine, when it comes down to voting, is just immediately the most appealing to the casual viewer. And I think a lot of people will really resonate with it and enjoy just a very simple, well performed ballad that has a lot of great progression and even, again, injecting that tiny bit of Icelandic so that it potentially won't be the only that could be the only bit of Icelandic that's even spoken in the grand final if everyone goes over to their English version. So it remains to be seen. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video or what you think about any of those songs. Is Daughters of Reykjavik the best pick? Is it Stefania or is it someone else? Anyway, we'll see you next time. Thanks again.